Commander HFY of the Galactic Confederation survey vessel Luminous Dawn stared at the readings on his holographic display, his four eyes blinking in rapid succession, a sign of deep confusion among his species. The planet below should have been empty, a forgotten rock in the outer rim that their long-range sensors had marked as uninhabitable centuries ago. Yet here it was, teeming with artificial structures and energy signatures that defied explanation. "Captain," his navigation officer, Tavana, called out with her melodic voice, "we're receiving multiple targeting locks from the surface. Their weapon systems are extensive." HFY's mandibles clicked nervously. In his 3 decades of exploration, for the Confederation, he had encountered hundreds of species across thousands of worlds. Most civilizations they discovered were either pre-industrial or had barely achieved spaceflight. None had ever immediately targeted his survey vessel upon first contact. "Hail them," he ordered, settling his arthropod frame into his command chair. Standard first contact protocols. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a face that made HFY's blood run cold. The being before him appeared deceptively primitive, bilateral symmetry, forward-facing predator eyes, and that unnerving tendency to bare its teeth. But those eyes held an intelligence that seemed to calculate distances and vulnerabilities, with disturbing precision. "This is Colonel Sarah Chen of the Kepler 442b Defense Force," the human said, her voice carrying an edge that needed no translation. "You are in restricted human space. State your business or be fired upon." HFY's translator struggled with several terms. "Human space?" he repeated. "Forgive me, but our records show no sapient life in this system. We are explorers from the Galactic Confederation, seeking new worlds and species to—" "Your records are wrong," Chen interrupted, leaning forward in her chair. Behind her, HFY could see other humans moving with military efficiency, their hands never far from weapon controls. "This is New Thermopylae, established 847 Earth years ago. We've been expecting visitors eventually." The name meant nothing to HFY, but his cultural database flagged the Earth reference. "Earth? That's the 3rd planet from Sol, correct? Our archaeological teams found ruins there, but the system was declared lifeless after their star went nova." Something shifted in Chen's expression, a hardening that made HFY's exoskeleton itch. "Sol didn't go nova, Commander. It was murdered." The bridge fell silent. In all his years exploring the galaxy, HFY had never heard anyone speak of stellar death in such terms. I don't understand," he managed. Chen stood, moving to a tactical display behind her. 850 years ago, the Hegemony found Earth. We were just starting to colonize other systems, barely had FTL drives worth mentioning. They demanded our submission, our resources, our people as slaves. Her fingers traced lines on the display, shipping routes, defensive positions. We refused. HFY knew of the Hegemony, the ancient empire that had dominated this sector of the galaxy before mysteriously vanishing 3 centuries ago. The Confederation had been built on their ruins. "So they weaponized our sun," Chen continued. "Triggered an artificial nova that killed 9 billion humans and sterilized 4 colony worlds. But 23 settlements like ours were far enough out to survive. We've spent every day since then preparing for their return." "But the Hegemony fell centuries ago," Tavana interjected from her station. "Internal conflicts, resource depletion, civil wars—" "No," Chen said quietly. "They didn't fall. We brought them down." The admission hung in the air like a weapon waiting to detonate. HFY felt a chill run through his circulatory system. The Hegemony had been a galactic superpower with technology millennia ahead of most species. For isolated human colonies to claim responsibility for their destruction was impossible, he whispered. Chen smiled, and HFY finally understood why his species' ancient texts warned about creatures that displayed their teeth. "Commander, in 800 years we've done nothing but study war. We've taken every hegemony ship that came to finish us off, reverse-engineered their technology, improved upon it. We've bred soldiers, scientists, and strategists with one purpose: to ensure humanity's survival and to make our enemies pay for what they did to Earth. She gestured to the display, which now showed a three-dimensional map of local space. Red dots marked dozens of installations, weapon platforms, shipyards, sensor networks. The entire system was a fortress. Every human child born here learns to shoot before they learn to read, Chen continued. Every adult serves in either military or support roles. We've turned 23 worlds into what you might call a military-industrial complex that happens to have civilians. And we've been waiting. Waiting for what? Zexhai asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. For anyone foolish enough to threaten humanity again. Chen's eyes fixed on his. The question now, Commander, is whether your confederation comes in peace or if you're here to finish what the hegemony started. Zexhai looked at his crew, all of whom seemed to have realized the same terrible truth he had. They hadn't discovered a lost colony of primitives. They had found something far more dangerous. A human civilization that had been forged in the fires of genocide and tempered by centuries of preparation for war. He cleared his throat. Colonel Chen, I assure you, the Galactic Confederation seeks only peaceful contact and mutual— Good, Chen interrupted. Then you'll understand why your ship will remain in our custody until our analysts confirm you pose no threat. Standard procedure. We've had to destroy 17 peaceful first contact missions over the past 2 centuries. Amazing how many scouts turn out to be advance forces once you dig deep enough into their data banks. As tractor beams locked onto the luminous dawn and began guiding it toward the planet's surface, Zexhai made a mental note to recommend that this system be marked with the highest diplomatic priority. Whatever the Confederation's xenobiologists thought they knew about human psychology, they were wrong. These weren't the scattered survivors of a dead species. These were the descendants of 9 billion ghosts, and they had spent 8 centuries learning how to haunt their enemies. The last thing Zexhai heard before his communications cut out was Colonel Chen's voice, calm and professional. Welcome to New Thermopylae, Commander. We do hope you'll enjoy your stay.